So a change on the kickoff team for the Arkansas Razorbacks. The officials look on. As you can see, player running out at the last moment is that's Herndon, I believe.
I'm not quite sure why the A&M coaches are. I would have to be a little.
Okay.
I'd be a little upset right now that they got this much time to filter people on and off the field.
Tejada prepares to kick it off. And this will come down at the goal line to Gray. At the 30, tries to hurdle the defender and gets turned to flip to the 33. Let's take a look now at our first half stats, brought to you by Pacific Life.
Well, you mentioned the penalties with 10. But the thing that jumped off for me is those turnovers for Texas A&M. 2 gave up 0 points, and those were on the plus side of the field as well. So and yards after catch, this is one thing that Arkansas is very, very good with. In talking to their coaches, all of their receivers are very good after the catch, but Joe Adams specifically, who leads the country in yards per catch, is very good.
Here are the defensive leaders from the first half.
Leon, a guy who was switched from safety to linebacker during camp. And Beckett, you mentioned how good he's been, already has his degree. Terrence Frederick with that interception on the underthrown ball. And Von Miller, let's see his health. Remember, it looked like he got cramps.
Johnson's throw, and Swope was the closest man to it. But I couldn't tell if he was throwing it away or it got bumped as he was throwing it. Third down. They got to take it out to the 43-yard line. Offense or defense?
Looked like defense to me. I don't think anybody moved.
You can see.
Dead ball, false start, 71, offense, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Look at Brian Thomas, the right tackle. I didn't see any movement on the line of scrimmage, but that really looked to me like that was the nose guard. And now, of course, Mike Sherman having to dial up a different play for 3rd and 11.
Third down, you got to take it out to the 43-yard line. Blitz coming up the middle, picked up nicely, and the ball is thrown to nobody. I don't know if he had an audible and he was expecting Fuller to break off the route, but he certainly didn't, and the ball just fell helplessly on the turf, or harmlessly on the turf.
And what a shame for Texas A&M, because they had the coverage that you'd want. If you're going to throw that long stop route, you have exactly what you want, one-on-one coverage out there, and Fuller must not have gotten the message.
This is best coverage kick of the day, and Joe Adams with the fair catch will have it just across the 25-yard line. Epperson with a nice job. So Arkansas takes it over first down at a pretty good field position, their own 26, and we'll see what Mallett can do. Final score in the Big 12 Conference in quite a slugfest, played just a few miles from here. Baylor defeated by Texas Tech 45-38. The Metroplex has a total of 5 college games being played today. Niall Davis. That is a good, tough, open field tackle by Frederick. Frederick already has an interception in the ball game, and the junior out of Katy, Texas, came up and did a nice job of one-on-one. He's a returning starter. And Von Miller, happy to report for Aggie faithful, is in on this very first sequence, number 40 on the right side. Blitz coming off the top of your screen, and the ball is thrown right there, and it's going to be short of the first down. It'll be 3rd down and 2. Jarius Wright on the receiving end.
Another good read by Ryan Mallett that time. We saw him earlier in the ball game against the blitz to that side, where the receiver cut off his route and he threw it right away to get yourself to 3rd and 1. Now let's see how true they are to this. We're going to run the ball thing they were talking about during their bye week.
DJ Williams and Ben Cleveland in the ball game at tight end, along with Broderick Green. Green will get it, puts a head down, and he'll have the first down plus 4 yards. Sean Porter defensively. And let's check back in New York. Robert Flores, an update again on Alabama, understand.
Yeah, Ron, here come the Crimson Tide, down 21-9 at the half. First play, second half. Snap goes over the head of Steven Garcia. He throws it out of the back of the end zone. That's a safety. They've tacked on a field goal. They're down 7. Oregon leads Washington State 8-7. Kick returner Kenyon Barner has been taken off the field via ambulance after being injured.
They go with the running play, and knifing through was number 40, Von Miller, who got inside the blocker again to tackle Green.
He is so quick and so good with his hands. You know, he reminds me of a guy who used to play for the Dallas Cowboys, Charles Haley. Look how quickly he jumps inside of that block by DJ Williams. But Haley had that ability to turn his shoulders, and Haley about 240 pounds. You'd blink and you'd miss him because he was so quick.
Mallett's throw caught at the 45 by Hamilton, and Kobe Hamilton is going to be close to the first down. They say officially they spotted down a 9-yard gain. Dustin Harris was there to make the stop.
Hamilton, a guy who's trying to work himself into that mix with Adams, Wright, and Child.
Rolls it and throws it. DJ Williams, and the big tight end will rumble down to the 40-yard line. They only needed 1 yard, and they picked up 10 more beyond that.
Williams, a guy who lost some weight. He'd gotten himself up to 250+ pounds last year trying to improve his blocking, but lost a little bit of weight. Nice job that time. Went down low and caught. A lot of guys would fall and cradle that, but went down with his hands, caught it, and was able to pick up more yards after the catch because of that.
This is Knile Davis, and Davis is going to go for 3. Sean Porter got an arm out and tripped him up.
Well, you're getting the sense that Knile Davis is the guy that they're going to go with. You know, we asked the coaches about the running back by committee for Arkansas, and said, no, we're still going to mix those guys in. We have seen Broderick Green. We've seen Wingo, who's very good out of the backfield as a receiver, but starting to look like number 7 is the guy that they're going to hang their hat on as this season goes forward.
Interesting. He weighs 220, but yet he still can be a knifing kind of runner. And defensive play made by the umpire.
Just a tough spot. Of course, they had toyed with the idea where the umpire would be moved. And this umpire is Casey Moreland, where he would be moved right there in the middle of your screen to the backfield. And he just can't get out of the way. And not his fault. That's exactly where he's going to be lined up, and very difficult position. But all of the umpires, most of the umpires around the country, said we can't see what we have to see to do our job if you move us behind the offense. So they stayed right where they were.
9th play of the drive coming up. Von Miller with the pressure, and the ball in and out of the hands of DJ Williams. Arkansas wanted a pass interference call as Garrick Williams was covering on DJ Williams.
Really nice coverage by Garrick Williams. Williams, a former tight end, was moved to outside linebacker. Now that he's moved to that inside linebacker spot in the 3-4. Excellent coverage, and after a long drive, was at 10 plays, they get a stop.
The last punt this young man had, Breeding, was 60 yards. And this one, he's trying to kick the knuckleball. Look at this thing turning over like a kickoff. And the catch made by McNeil. We'll take a timeout. Score remains 21-14 Arkansas. 21-14 to score, and we want to show you something. Both teams have a punter who will do this. I call it just simply an ugly punt. Watch the ball drop by Breeding. Look at the point is where he's going to kick the ball. Now, he's not looking for distance. He's looking for a knuckleball that won't go that far, but is really tough to catch. And that one, as you noted, was spinning like a kickoff.
Yeah, perfectly. The idea being get a little bit of backspin like on a kickoff. So if it drops on the 10, it's more likely to come backwards than it is to squirt into the end zone.
That is quite a weapon.
I would imagine it hurts, too.
From the 10-yard line, quick out pass, and Johnson obviously just threw it away. He saw the coverage coming up very quickly on his running back, Christine Michael.
That was a nice job by Tenarius Wright, the defensive end to that side. He saw the running back going. That's tough for a defensive end to ask them to cover into the flat, but that was a nice job by Wright.
You know, one of the things I wrote down yesterday that Willie Robinson, the defensive coordinator, told us, he said he is very, very fast for the position that he plays. This is Christine Michael out to the 15, so it'll be a third down and about 5, maybe just a little bit longer for the first down. Miles Nash, Colton Miles Nash is the man who took his feet out from under him.
A&M has just been horrific on third down, 1 for 8 on conversions. If you can give him time, you got Fuller up top, maybe that stop route where they had miscommunication earlier.
Prior to the snap, false start, 76, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
Well, they just continue to do things. That's Luke Jokel, the left tackle. He had one on the first play of the game. But
you know, somebody's name we have not called today, who has been very prominently mentioned in every game they play, is Wachiku.
Yep.
The wide receiver.
Usually runs the deep ball. He's very fast.
Arkansas showing blitz. And here they come. You can see bottom of the screen, picked up nicely. Ball to Fuller. Got it. Foot race. 30. Tackle just inside the 25.
Well, they had been picking on Darius Winston to that side. So Isaac Madison goes over, and Fuller just runs right by him. Watch the top of your screen. Well, Madison just got caught looking at the ball. It's almost exactly what we saw at the end of the half, where the corner starts peeking and that receiver is gaining a yard or two with every step you're taking.
That's a gain of 69 yards on that pass play. Great protection this time, and he throws safety valve to Fuller. Going to have a gain of 1, maybe 2. Lamont Broadway is out there to make the tackle. Now that's a good matchup right there. Although Broadway is only 5'9", he is a very tough player.
And immediately Willie Robinson made the switch and put Broadway. Said, you know what, I'm tired of seeing number 8 run by us. You go over there and cover him. I like the switch.
Just underthrown, Nehemiah Hicks, and now a flag comes up. I don't know if are they going to call him for a late hit?
Illegal man downfield.
Oh yeah.
Well, there must have, you know what, they shifted their formation
Twice.
Yeah, and I think they confused themselves.
And I thought it was unloading a subway in New York at 5 p.m.
Now the question becomes, do you want to accept this or not?
ineligible pass receiver downfield. Number 45, he was covered up. Penalties declined, 3rd down.
Covered up meaning that there was a receiver to the outside on the line of scrimmage. So Matt Sherman, the tight end, was ineligible.
Tannehill comes back into the lineup, as does Brandel Jackson. Arkansas players asking for their crowd to stand up and make a lot of noise. And we are moving into the area that has the most Arkansas fans back to our right. It's where their band is as well. Johnson steps up, throws for the end zone, and it's going to be well overthrown.
Well, this is just not. He had Tannehill, who was cutting out kind of a corner route there. But Johnson has just not really been on the mark today.
And
that's a ball he should hit.
You know, I'm sure not going to beat the kid up, but that ball came out really strangely. Like, boop, it came out high. It was high from the time it left his aim. It's going to be a 39-yard, 38-yard, let's call it, attempt. Plenty of distance, and he's got it. 21-17, our new score.
ESPN's College Football on ABC, brought to you by Cheez-It, because at Cheez-It, real cheese matters. YP.com. Click less, live more. And the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
Well, the Cowboys locker room, and of course the stadium is open to the public during the week for tours. Tour stops include the press box, field access, and the Cowboys locker room. And Cowboys Stadium tours average $50,000 a month. And what you can do is you can go in and put on shoulder pads, as you can see, and a headgear. I don't know about togs or not, but anyway.
But there's a deluxe package where you actually go out and get tackled by a bunch of Cowboys too. You have to sign a waiver for that one.
Joe Adams is the deep man as Bullock, who just kicked the 38-yard field goal and kept the Aggies in this one, cutting the lead to 4 points, is about to kick it off. This one's going to be returnable from the 4-yard line. Adams. Oh, what a hit. Good heavens. You not only could hear it up here, you could almost feel the concussion. Wow.
And that's a good way to get your sideline going a little bit too.
Listen to this.
Good low pad level, head up, good form tackle. It's nice to see, you know, young men not going high and leading with their head. That was just a good low hard tackle.
Desmond Gardner is the man on the special teams who made the tackle. Mallett deep over the middle, and the ball is overthrown. And look next to him at Jarius White.
Yeah.
And Jarius is turning around with his hands out saying, wait a minute, I'm the guy that was wide open.
Watch these two receivers as they go down the field, and watch Jarius Wright. Just, he's the inside receiver, just absolutely
look
the
at him
safety.
waving.
Yeah. Not only did Mallett misread it, he missed through it too. Boy, that's an easy 7 you missed.
Niall Davis. Jerry Jones, very interested in watching this one. And of course, for those of you who don't know, Jerry played his college football at Arkansas.
Obviously very instrumental in putting together this rivalry, and he knows how important the state of Texas is to Arkansas's recruiting. So I'm sure that had something to do with it.
You think? He's not going to pick up the first down on 3rd down and 1. Broderick Green just got stonewalled.
You know, both of these offenses have just gotten in their own way. They seem like they're just out of sorts as soon as they start getting something going. You know, missing a wide open Jarius Wright for a touchdown. Now you're in a position where they're going to bring the sticks out to measure this, but he looked clearly short to me of the first down. But neither one of these offenses, which at times over the last couple of seasons have been so explosive, they just can't get out of their own way.
And he's going to miss it considerably. So Breeding comes trotting on, and you would assume that Arkansas is going to punt, but stranger things have happened.
Well,
it is inside their own 30-yard line.
The fake field goal, I think, was the last we're going to see of any kicking game shenanigans today.
It's Ben Cleveland, one of the tight ends that the head coach was talking with. Lazy ball turned over. That was a nice kick, and then because it hung for so long, the Gunners were down there plenty of times to make the tackle immediately at the 24-yard line. Let's take a timeout. 4-point game. Arkansas continues to lead.
You're watching ESPN College Football on ABC, presented by Buffalo Wild Wings.
Bags fly free because at Southwest Airlines, bags have someone on their side.
Good cop, bad cop.
Every day, thousands of innocent bags are charged bag fees by other airlines. How many of those bags are too scared to report it? How many of those bags wish they had?
Good cop,
bad cop. When other airlines do bad things, it's time for good cops to do bag things.
To 17 our score. Ron Franklin along with Ed Cunningham coming to you from this beautiful arena in Arlington, Texas. Barry Switzer in attendance today. Not only the former head coach for Oklahoma and for the Dallas Cowboys. Barry grew up in the state of Arkansas.
That Super Bowl ring, hard to hold that phone up and the ring at the same time.
Well, ball came loose, and Arkansas has recovered it as Christian Michael has the ball recovered by Rudell Prim. And that's 3 turnovers against the Aggies. And the one thing that Mike Sherman said when we ended our phone call with him day before yesterday, he said, guys, you can't beat anybody when you have 5 turnovers, which is what they had last week.
Yeah, and he just ran into his own man, Fuller. A&M just looks sloppy today offensively. You know, I know they have 17 points, but they've just looked like they've had trouble getting their people on and off the field. They've had all of those procedure penalties, and that one, you know, just a tough break. But didn't look like it was too much to knock that ball out.
Blitz coming off the corner. They'll get him, and he threw the ball at the last minute.
And Mallett is favoring his left arm as he gets up.
Niall Davis is the man that he was tossing it to.
And Mallett has what looks like a brace on his left arm. I'm not so sure. We haven't heard anything about a shoulder injury, but that's his left arm. He flings it out there. I think that Ryan Mallett, that black brace you see is usually to keep your shoulder from moving too high.
Boy, Niall Davis weaving his way inside the 30-yard line. It takes it to the 27. Well, Jimmy Johnson has taken over the chase lead, but Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick are hot on his heels. The chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup continues with the Pepsi Max 400. That's in California on ESPN tomorrow, 3 o'clock Eastern time. Our situation, third down. They're going to take it to the 20-yard line. Mallett, quick throw, has it, breaks a tackle. This is Childs, and he's going to be short of the first down by a couple.
And Bobby Petrino is going to send his field goal unit out. I'm a little surprised by this. I thought, well, it does put you up a touchdown, so the math makes sense, but you know, he ran the fake earlier. I assumed he may go for it here on fourth and a little bit inside of 2.
Ball's going to be placed down at the 29, so a 39-yard attempt. And he got it. Zach Hawker, the freshman out of Russellville, Arkansas. Robert Flores, let's go from Russellville to New York City. What do you got for us?
All right, Ron, time to an AT&T All-America Player of the Week update. Texas A&M bitter rival Texas Tech. Their quarterback Taylor Potts, 462 yards, 4 touchdowns. He's got 17 on the season. They beat Baylor. Can text VOTE to 345-345 to take part and for a chance at a trip to the national championship.
Thanks, Robert. Boy, over 400 yards. Baylor has really started putting some points on the board, and obviously,
well, we saw Texas Tech against Texas just looked bad. I mean, Texas defensively obviously offered them a few problems, but under 200 yards of total offense when we were up there in Lubbock, that was a shocker.
So our situation, we have 5:04 to play, third quarter, and it once again is a 1-touchdown ball game, 24-17 Arkansas. Tejada will kick it off. Now, I bragged on him off the top of the telecast for the fact that he already has 6 touchbacks on the year, 1 more today for a total of 7. But the head coach said last year they had him kicking at angles. This time they're just telling him to kick it away and kick it into the end zone. So far from the 30, he has not been able to do that today. This one will not either. High spinner that's going to come down at the 9-yard line. Gray. Well, Brett Favre's return to New York on ESPN's Monday Night Football as the Vikings take on the New York Jets, 8:30 Eastern Time. Now, coverage begins at 7 o'clock Eastern with Monday Night Countdown served by Applebee's.
Mark Sanchez, who struggled during the preseason, has come out and played very well, 0 interceptions, and Brett Favre, frankly, has really struggled.
Well,
he waited so long.
He's struggling off the field right now as well, and I'm wondering how much he'll be affected in that ball game on Monday evening.
Of course, he gets Randy Moss, which maybe will be a help, but you come back that late in camp, I don't care who you are, it's just tough to get into a rhythm.
So the penalty moves the ball back to the 13-yard line. Christian Michael.
You know, there's been some talk in Aggieland about Gerard Johnson. Of course, he had surgery on his shoulder, his throwing shoulder, during the offseason. There's been some talk, and Mike Sherman tried to put that to rest, said no, he's 100% and everything. But you know, you watch that ball come out a couple of times today. I'm wondering, as the season wears on, if his arm's not getting a little tired.
Near sideline, ball overthrown, and unprepared for it was Terrence McCoy.
And Johnson, who has not, he doesn't have the strongest arm in college football, and so he's always been a little bit of a floater, but he's always had really good accuracy and good timing, and just not quite seeing that
Wachaku just checked in. He may have been in the ballgame, but they haven't thrown to him, and he is wide to the right at the bottom of your screen. Well, they swing it out of the backfield. That's Gray, and Cyrus Gray will be denied the 20-yard line. So it'll be 4th down, and it's Anthony Leon who took his feet out from under him.
A&M's offense just not doing their defense many favors. Come out, go after the field goal. You fumbled, you give it the field goal. Now you go 3 and out, and that defense, you cannot continue to give the ball back to Mallett and company.
Leon now with 7 tackles on the afternoon for the Razorbacks. Here's the boot. Driving spiral. Pushes him all the way back to the 26-yard line. Boy, what a hit. And he still is up and then goes down after a couple of more people hit him. That's Lionel Smith who really put the lumber on him on that hit. That's 52 yards on that kick. To see Arkansas, then A&M, and get to see all these youngsters, and it's a wonderful thing for them. They enjoy it as well. The Aggies have owned the 4th quarter so far this season. Can they do that today?
Well, they're not starting in a very good position. 3rd and 22. I would expect a screen here to try to get this at least away from their goal line. But they're going to need their defense, I think, to make a play to win this game.
Johnson shovel pass, good call. Well, on a 3rd down and not quite a mile, but really close to it.
3/4.
Yeah, they wound up with a good pickup on the play. At least they've got some space as far as kicking.
Yeah, they just had to get some type of play of positive yardage.
Well, that's the thing I was talking about. The Aggies 52-10. They've outscored the opposition in the 4th quarter this year. Hanging spiral, not going to turn over, and the catch is made, and I'm impressed with it.
Yes.
The nice job. Adams, folks, was looking right into a sun that as it begins to set to the west, Arkansas is looking right into that to catch punts. There you see it off to the right, and he was looking straight into that sunshine, and he never wavered.
I remember the old Dallas Stadium, you know, with that open roof, which the roof is closed today. How difficult that was. Now with the new one, with the end zones being open, it is something.
That's what he was looking at. Did you see that glare coming through there? That's tough. Very, very tough at this time of day.
It's tough for anybody but Joe Adams. Just fine by him.
I'll tell you, Joe Adams is a really impressive football player. Everything he does. A&M showing blitz in the middle, and now they stay at home. That was Garrick Williams who was creeping up, and now he comes and they pick him up. And as the sweep comes the other way, Aggies do a nice job of putting a seal on that one. Von Miller will be credited with the tackle.
Well, coming into this season, Gerard Johnson, of course, was the Big 12 Offensive Preseason Player of the Year, and Ryan Mallett mentioned not only for the Heisman but as a big-time NFL prospect. But they've both had their struggles today. A couple of bad throws by Mallett, including that one interception. But for Gerard Johnson, and you know, looking at his body language walking off the field, he looks like he's starting to get very, very frustrated.
Malik hands it off, and this running play will go for about a half yard, and that's it. And I have to think Mallett is looking toward the bench where he was standing for the last 2 plays with that ball on that hash mark. That sun was right in his face. Yeah.
Yep, you can see him squinting, looking over, trying to get there. And it will be difficult, you know, looking down. Luckily, the stands, the 2 level of stands, should be between him and his receiver, but that is an awful lot of light.
Well, there it is right there. You can see how glaring it is as he comes up and calls an audible. Throws it, has it complete at the 50. That's Herndon. Javante Herman, who is a true freshman out of Jacksonville. And I mean, he reached up and grabbed a tall pass and brought it down for 16.
Top of your screen, Herndon just cuts underneath the 2 vertical routes, and a really good catch. A high throw by Mallett. But Herndon snares that out of the air. How many times do you see a receiver have to jump up and cradle that? But this young man, a true freshman, does a wonderful job of snatching it, because if he has to jump, I'm not sure he gets the first down.
Well, that freshman earned his new red shoes. That pass thrown low at the 30, incomplete. It's Childs that he was looking for.
Well, and they're lucky that right now they're in the middle of the field where there are
shady.
some shadows. Exactly. I think they want to avoid getting to the 37 to about the 27-yard line, right in there.
Yeah, it's kind of like they're standing under or on the edge of a tree right here in the shade. 24-17. Arkansas leads. We have 12.5 minutes to play in our ball game. Blitz coming off the corner. Vaughn Miller. Ball is caught in the area he vacated, and Childs is going to be tackled at the 40. And I'm telling you, that was a good, persistent effort. And he finally was brought down by Dustin Harris. Dustin primarily a nickelback, but he has 2 interceptions on the year. One of those a touchdown return.
And here you go. You've got him to third down. Vaughn Miller is going to line up over the right tackle. Let's see if he can bring some pressure.
Pass thrown well behind the receiver. Childs was having trouble figuring out if, I think Mallett is kind of beating himself up over that rather than the receiver. I couldn't tell if he was gesturing that.
And look at the frustration on Bobby Petrino, just pulling on that hair. I think both of these quarterbacks both of these coaches a little frustrated with the lack of accuracy of the quarterbacks today. They just, neither of them have really been spot on.
All right, here is that same kick again, and the deep man ran away from it, and it goes into the end zone. Now that's Petrino as he walks the sideline, and watch the reaction by Mallett after he throws the ball. Yep, he is gesturing, come back to me, come back to me.
Well, big bright spot is Jeff Fuller for Texas A&M. That time he beats Darius Winston, so Willie Robinson, the defensive coordinator, switches over and puts Isaac Madison. Same result. And who did we see on the next play? Ramon Broadway then went over to that side to try to cover Fuller. 124 yards receiving today.
And Broadway is out there with him right now. Josh going to run it. Heads to the sidelines, and he picked up the first down. He went diving. Jerry Franklin was there to help assist him out of bounds, but you can see the official has placed it 1 yard beyond where that yellow line was.
You know, and I think you've got to be careful if you're Texas A&M with short routes right now. Your receivers are going to be looking right back into that sun that we saw. So
that's exactly right.
You got to be careful about what you're calling in that 10-yard range.
No, they're going to keep it on the ground, and it'll be Christian Michael tackled by Alfred Davis.
Michael's been running hard, but I mean it is brutal coming in from that side of the field. But can you imagine if you had to turn back to find a football?
Catching out over there?
Yeah,
good luck. It might hit you right between the eyes.
Well, it could get
never
stuck in your face mask.
Yeah. Well, they keep it on the ground again. It's going to be a yard gain by Christian Michael. This time Jericho Nelson making the play for Arkansas.
And Nelson, one of the guys that Willie Robinson, the defensive coordinator, mentioned by name as the guys who've been with them, played a ton of ball over the last 3 years.
And they brought him over from the secondary. Now, folks, he's playing linebacker, which says something about why they have such speed at linebacker. Third down. They need to take it to the 41.
Now that's going to be, look to me like DeQuinta Jones was trying to guess the snap. A lot of finger pointing. It was them. No, it was them.
Tell you, if it is against DeQuinta Jones, that may be a first down without them having to run a play here, because it's right at 5 yards they need to pick up.
He was lined up over Evan Ike, who was questionable today with a stinger.
Dead ball, false start,
Oh,
65.
to go against the
offense, 5-yard
Aggies.
penalty, third down.
So rather than picking up the first down, it'll be stepped off against them at a third down at a different play call here. About 9.5 yards to pick up the first.
Well, it didn't look to me like Ike moved until DeQuinta Jones was in the neutral zone. Remember, we saw earlier when you do that, that's a penalty against the defense.
4 false starts on A&M this afternoon. And of course, we have documented Arkansas has had their problems with that situation as well. Fuller comes back to make the catch. And I'll tell you, when there is such a size difference, Isaac Madison is 5'11", and Fuller is 6'4", 220, and he comes back for the football. There's just not a lot that can be done.
And that's really good coverage. You know, you're on it. Good throw. Nice, accurate throw by Gerard Johnson. And Fuller was just beyond where that bright sun was.
Straight ahead, big opening, has 5, has 10, counted off at 13 yards for Cyrus Gray. Jericho Nelson could have saved a touchdown with that tackle right there.
Cyrus Gray not getting a whole lot of touches today. That's just his 4th carry. Kristen Michael has been the guy with 18. The fresh legs came in and got it and busted one.
They run the sweep. He cuts it back into the middle, and Gray will have, let's call it about 4 yards in the play. Ramon Broadway, number 26. He is a senior out of Evangel Christian. Of course, that is in Shreveport. A lot of players come out of that school. 7 tackles for him this afternoon. Well, Tannehill saying, don't throw that flag now.
Prior to the snap, false start.
Wow.
76 offense,
That's
5-yard
three.
penalty,
That's 3
second down.
for Joko. Unbelievable.
Tonight on ABC, the 23rd ranked Florida State Seminoles take on 13th ranked Miami. Some of the West Coast are going to see SC taking on Stanford. Saturday Night Football presented by Southwest Airlines. Tonight at ABC at 8 Eastern and 5 o'clock Pacific. Now, the Aggies have started using a double step from the quarterback. Now, I don't know if the first one, they were trying to draw an offside, but somehow
It seems to be messing them up.
It seems to be messing them up, is my point.
Yeah.
Johnson zings this one, and that's a nice defensive play. Fuller was there, and that is Tremaine Thomas, who got there just in time to get a fingertip on it.
Well, that was the ball. Fuller cuts to the outside. Ball was just a little late, a little high, a little behind, and that allows Thomas to come over and make a play. But if that ball is zinged on time, I'm not sure that Thomas would have been able to get there. Now, I think you're in 2-down territory. You know, that shovel pass might not be a bad call here.
Thomas really gave up his body on that play to make sure he got to it. 3rd down and 11. Razorbacks showing blitz, and here they come. Up the middle, off the corner. Ball is thrown for the end zone, and looking back into the sun, and he can't hold on at the 2-yard line, and that's Jeff Fuller. And right now, I have to say that Mother Nature was the second defender there. That was Broadway who was trying to cover.
Well, they've tried a bunch of different guys covering Fuller, and this is just really nice coverage by Broadway. And the sun is just right in the eyes, and Broadway gets away with one there. It was hard for the official to see to that side, but Broadway had a hold of the left bicep of Fuller. I'm not saying he would have made the catch. It still would have been a tough catch with that sun in his eyes, but Broadway got away with a little one here.
So it's going to be 4th down, and the decision about to be made across the way by Mike Sherman. And it looks as though the Aggies are going to use a timeout to talk it over.
Yeah, I think that Mike Sherman, well, there's a penalty flag
Yeah, they took the delay.
Yeah.
Delay game on the offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
So no timeout, the reason for the whistle.
I would have been shocked had they gone for it there on 4th down.
Yeah.
You know, if you'd have picked up 7 or 8 yards, I could see it happening. But
here's the boot, trying to hook it to the sideline. And Joe Adams is saying, get away from it. I can't see it, and you can't see it either. Arkansas still by 7. Let's take a quick timeout.
From the outside, you can't.
Ways you have to be here. Chevrolet. And Dr. Pepper. There's nothing like a pepper.
Well, the gentleman you're looking at, that's our technical director, Craig Short. Now, everything you see on your TV at home is controlled by the video switcher that he operates. And, folks, that has over 1,000 buttons. By the way, he is a proud graduate of the University of Arkansas, class of 1993.
yeah, he was pretty excited about this. He lives in San Antonio, so rather easy for him to get to the ball game today. He was pretty excited about not having to make 2 or 3 stops to get to where we normally go.
See the Aggies moving around defensively, and now here comes another flag. And let's see, turnabout fair play, is that what we're
Yeah.
boy.
Prior to the snap, false start.
Man.
Offensive center, 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
Yeah, you know, that silent snap count, you mentioned, Ron, that Gerard Johnson is lifting that leg twice to make sure the defense doesn't get a bead, but I almost feel like these two teams need to go back under center and start calling a snap count, because they were both just terrible today.
Arkansas had 10 first half penalties. That's only their first penalty in the second half. So obviously the head coach did address it.
So you just made lemonade out of lemons, didn't you?
Now this is Broderick Green, and he'll take it out close to the 1st down line. They're going to have about 2.5 yards to pick it up.
And right here is where the lip service that was given to the run game by Bobby Petrino and his staff during the bye week about having to run the game, run the ball. You're up 7:27 left in the 4th quarter. If you're going to have a run game and you want to develop it, this is when you need it.
Good block by the fullback, and Broderick Green is going to take it for the 1st down as he slides to the outside. ABC's new drama, Detroit 187. Great cops made in Detroit. And when it's your hometown, everything is personal. Detroit 187 on ABC Tuesday at 9 Central.
And now Tim DeRuyter, the new defensive coordinator at A&M, he's got to start walking his safeties down. If they're going to pound you, and of course then that opens up Mallett for a deep ball on a play action.
Well, play action, that's what they're trying to do, and the pressure is going to get to him, and that is Demontre Moore. Demontre Moore has been very impressive, a freshman out of Rowlett, Texas.
Well, and the coaches were talking about how Von Miller has taken this young man under his wing. They play the same position, and that's just,
boy, he's quick.
Yeah, you know, it's so tough. They said he's long, which means he's got long arms, and that was the fullback Van Stumen. And all that Demontre, had to put his hands on him, and there's no way that the fullback can get a hold of his jersey.
2nd down, pressure again, and they throw the screen back to that side. Blocker in front, up the sideline at the 30-yard line is Ronnie Wingo, and they say out of bounds at the 31. Not enough for the 1st down, but the most important thing, if you're Arkansas, closer to picking that thing up. And of course, the next play, they want to make sure that they stay in bounds, because we got 6:09 left. Well, all of a sudden that clock's going to really go downhill.
And good job by Wingo. Tough job catching it, but he is so good out of the backfield. He ran a 10.5 900 meters in high school, and he's almost 230 pounds with good hands. What a nice changeup call by Bobby Petrino.
Arkansas 5 of 14 on 3rd down conversions. Green has the 1st down for Arkansas, and the minute he made it, it was at the 5:45 mark. Now let's see if they can really milk that clock on this run right here.
Well, and if you're going to have a run game, you better have a fullback right behind Mallett. Watch Van Stumen. He's going to come up and block one-on-one against Michael Hodges. And that you just can't block it any better as a fullback. We saw him miss the block on the pass pro, but if you're going to have a power running game, you better have a guy who can lower his shoulder like Stuman did there.
Also, Ben Cleveland with a good block to aid his running back. First down, they keep it on the ground again. Green tackle by Spencer Neely.
Well, I think for A&M, I don't think you have a choice now but to bring your safeties down and get them to, 9-10 yards from the line of scrimmage, because Arkansas has shown you what they want to do here, and just hope, if you're Tim DeRuyter, the defensive coordinator, that your cornerbacks can hold up. Right now it's Terrence Frederick and Coriel Judy.
Safeties creeping up, looking under pressure, gonna be sacked. And it's Sean Porter. Third time that they have gotten to Mallett today.
Well,
so the final is in. The #1 team in the land has fallen to the old ball coach. 35. What was it, Bob? 35. 35-21 the final. The Gamecocks. You think there might be a party or two tonight in Columbia?
Wow, what a big penalty on Ryan Mallett. Was just called for a personal foul. There was a scrum after he was sacked, and he started kicking his legs and was pushing around and was called for it. And he's arguing that call right now, but what a huge penalty on Mallett.
So the situation, third down from the 20-yard line. They got to go all the way out to the 48 to pick up the first down. Mallett, safety valve right over the middle. That's Wingo. 30, 35, and he's almost back to the original line of scrimmages. Michael Hodges puts a stop on him.
Well, it was almost like Bobby Petrino didn't want to trust the run game completely. I know they got to a 2nd and 10, which is typically a pass down on that series, but you still get the sense doesn't quite trust it all the way. With the clock running, you'd think it would have been a run call.
The head coach just came over to talk to his quarterback. He keeps insisting he got an elbow. But, the one thing for people watching this game that may have come in late, we mention again, this is an SEC group of officials. It is not a Big 12 group. So let's take a timeout. 24-17 Arkansas.
You're watching ESPN College.
All right, let's show you what happened on the play. Did Mallett pick up the 15-yard penalty?
Well, as he gets sacked and goes to the ground, watch, he's going to throw. I don't want to call it a punch, but his arm definitely moves and hits Mathis. You can see 92 as he goes to get up right there. Looked to me like Ryan Mallett threw a punch in the pile. So it was the right call.
Oh, this is a boomer. Way back. Fair catch is signaled for, and wisely so at the 11-yard line by Neal. 52 yards on the kick. It is time now to take a look at our Pacific Life game summary.
Now Ryan Mallett finds his tight end Ben Cleveland, who was uncovered, and then it became the long ball to Jeff Fuller. Really the only consistent offense. They've got a little bit of the run game going, but for Texas A&M, the only consistent offense they've had today. Fuller 7 catches, 142 yards, and that 1 touchdown.
So the Aggies